Star Trek. Discovery makes the best out of a bad situation, of its own making. Last week's frustratingly messy discovery blew open a wild field of potential disasters that the program could bring itself toward, with its revelation of the Red Angel's true identity. With that in hindsight, a lot of what happens in Perpetual Infinity isn't so bad. But it still brings with it a heap of problems. In comparison to the Red Angel, this episode is helped a lot by the focus it has, something its predecessor desperately needed as it breathlessly attempted to catch everyone upon a zillion plot threads while also throwing in its own fake twist on top of an actual twist for good measure. With the real identity of the angel out of the way, Perpetual Infinity finds itself with not one, but two emotional anchors to pivot around: Michael and her returned mother, named at last as Doctor Gabrielle Burnham, and played by Sonja Sohn, and Michael and her freshly rekindled bond with Spock. It's the former of these that serves as the spine for the episode, as Michael learns that reuniting with a mother she thought was dead is going to be a lot more challenging than she anticipated. As eager, almost childishly eager, as Michael is to see her mother while she rests in stasis down on Essof IV, Gabrielle Burnham is anything but haunted by having to experience, over and over, Control's destruction in the future, and watching her child grow up without her from a distance has hardened her to the point that, at first, she wants nothing to do with seeing Michael, solely dedicated in her mission to stop Control from gaining the sentience it will use to destroy the universe. Watching Dr. Burnham try and emotionally distance herself from her daughter, just as Michael had tried to do to Spock as a child, is heartbreaking. Over the course of the episode, we learn that their reunion is fleeting, even if Gabrielle didn't want it to be. The ability she uses to travel through time is also slowly but surely wrenching her back through spacetime, to root her back in the future she fled to the first time she used the suit, on the night the Klingons attacked her and her husband, a cruel joke that has locked her in a perpetual hell. But in a brutally cutting scene, one that hauntingly mirrors young Michael's attempt to sever her relationship with Spock, Dr. Burnham tells Michael that that's probably for the best. Her relationship with time has been so fundamentally altered by the Red Angel suit that she's been robbed her of the ability to see time as a precious thing to spend with the people closest to her. Contrasted with Michael, who's torn up over how the chance to reunite with a parent she thought dead is slowly but inevitably slipping away from her, it makes for an emotional journey. One we know has to end with Michael letting go of her mother all over again. Michael's emotive arc is neatly picked up with Spock at the episode's end, thanks to the two having united over the messed up impact the Red Angel's time tinkering has now had on both of their lives. Spock's offer to be the person Michael can share her burden with and play 3D chess without flinging the board around the room, after needling her so much about her desire to hoist everyone's problems on herself, including his own, is a simple yet wonderfully touching moment. It works to highlight the family that Michael ultimately found after the loss of her own all those years ago. If she can't have her mother back, at least, for now, who can say what'll happen by the end of this season, at least she finally has the brother she thought she'd lost back when she was an unruly child. Ultimately decides that he can bear some of the load of what his sister is going through. That's what worked about Perpetual Infinity. What didn't? Well, unfortunately, the rest of the plot. Because while Michael is going through her feelings with her mom, and attempting to hatch a plan with Stamets that could keep Gabrielle in the present, while flinging the data Control